Hello everybody, this is Horror Studio 1. This is my story from my childhood. I used to live in Asia when I was a kid. When I was about 1 or 2 years old, I had a constant reoccurring dream or nightmare. It was of me walking out in the front of my garden and seeing a man there standing in the distance. A man with a top hat and a trench coat. A little bit of background information. The house I used to live in when I was a kid was located at the rural part of the country, so it was dark. And at nighttime, my house always seemed kind of creepy, as it also situated at the base of a mountain. As I would see this man in my dream, I would walk out of bed and walk to the entrance to the garden. The man would be far away, about 100 meters away from me. He would swiftly glide in a diagonal pattern, almost like a video game character, towards me until he glided up right in front of me. The top hat would still be covering his face, and he just stood there, still and silent. I never knew how he looked like, and I actually was never really scared at all. I had this dream many times until I moved away from that house. I never had that dream again. So if you guys are interested in a few more of these occurrences from people in their childhood, we have 3 more stories coming up. Enjoy. Freddy Krueger. I am shocked to read very similar experiences like mine. Here is my experience. In case this matters, I live in Pennsylvania at the time of the incident. I am 32 years old now. This took place when I was 5 years old. I remember it like it happened yesterday. I woke up at around 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning to get ready to watch Saturday morning cartoons. My father, my mother, sister, and brother were all still asleep. As I sit in front of our TV, I started to hear footsteps coming from the roof. Confused, thinking my dad woke up and went to do something on the roof, I ran outside to see. As I went up my next door neighbor's little hill, I could see my roof. I saw a very tall, shadowy person wearing a black trench coat and a black fedora hat, just walking slowly around my roof. As I stare at it, trying to figure out who and why, that is when it slowly turned to look at me and move towards me. This is when I screamed and ran inside my house, up the stairs, and scared my mom and dad half to death. My dad sprang out of bed and had me show him where this person was. I did. However, it was gone by this time, no more than 2 minutes at most, and it was gone. This is what happened to me so far. I recall an interview done by one of my favorite all-time horror filmmakers, Wes Craven. He was asked how Freddy Krueger came to be. Craven replied by saying that when he was a little boy, he remembers looking out of his window to see a tall shadow person wearing a black coat and black fedora, the fedora being one of Krueger's trademarks, staring at Craven. He ran to get his big brother, who also saw this man still standing there, staring at their window. This is when Craven's older brother ran outside to chase the mystery man away, and many years later, Wes used part of the Shadow Hat Man outfit and creepiness to create Freddy Krueger. You can see this interview of Wes Craven anywhere online. This story Wes Craven told me hit close to home, and was the first time I ever heard of anyone else seeing this thing. This is a few patterns I see here. This shadowy thing usually shows up when we are between our childhood and teenage years. We are fully awake and not asleep. This is not a dream. Most sightings seem to have occurred in Northeast USA. I am sure this has happened elsewhere on Earth. Just need more people to come forward to form a better pattern. The man near the swings. I can't believe other people have had the same type of experience. When I was a kid, probably about 3 or 4 at the most, I went to a daycare center with my friend, and when our parents came to get us, they would talk to the owners while we played on a little swing set outside. I've always remembered a weird, tall man in a trench coat and a fedora-like hat who would just stand there next to me when I was on the swings. My friend never seemed to really notice or care. We were basically toddlers, so it's not that strange. But I would always feel so uncomfortable and scared and try to ignore him. I don't remember specifically if he ever tried to talk to me or anything. For the longest time when I was older, I just thought he must have been a really creepy guy hanging around a daycare center, and how I couldn't believe that no adults ever noticed. I asked my parents if they recalled this incident, in which they did not remember anything. When I was in high school, I was going through a rough time. I had to take my ADD, attention deficit disorder, medications at night, and drink and all of that, and stay up all night doing whatever. I definitely had some really weird experiences with insomnia, but there was one time when I went to a complete panic mode because I swear I saw him in my room. I immediately associated whatever that person or thing was with what it was when I was a kid, and I thought that he was still in my room. I was talking to a friend on Instant Messenger and just kept saying things about how I couldn't go to sleep because this man was hiding by the foot of my bed and waiting for me to sleep. I could have been a little mentally delirious, but I still swear by the fact that when I was a kid, that guy was always hanging around me at the daycare. I just stumbled across a website that randomly had a story sometime posted of this man being in their room, and I was so surprised I googled it and found this website and a lot of others. Thought it was really strange other people have had this experience. Anyways, that's my experience. Hat man sitting on my bed. I used to see the top hat man every night, for a while when I was about 2 to 3 years old. When we would be put to bed, and my older brother fell asleep, this very tall figure with a black coat and top hat would come out of the closet, come right up to me, and sit in the bed right next to me. I know I was awake because I could hear the air conditioning unit in the window turning on and running. He would stare down at me with a completely black face with no features whatsoever. He never touched or harmed me in any way. He never spoke. At first, I was petrified and frozen in fear. But eventually, I got used to him and would just expect him to come out, and he did. Night after night. I just recently started doing searches online and found that many people see this figure, so I was pretty shocked to find all these posts. We eventually moved to a different state, and I didn't see him for a long time until I was about 10 years old, playing hide and seek, and I was in a closet hiding, and a black hand reaches out from the clothes and waved at me, as if to remind me that he was still around. I am 38 years old now, and I've not seen him since that day, but I have several other experiences. I think I am sensitive to these things, so they are attracted to me. I just haven't gone out of my way to make contact with them. Others have been with me during paranormal events, which I just kind of shrug off because they are completely shocked. What I can say is that these things are real, But just don't assume that they are harmful. Some people can deal with things better than others, and I think the experience as a child made me a stronger person today. If you don't make an issue out of them, they will eventually leave you alone, or at least learn that you are strong-willed and they can't really harm you.